Hello, welcome back to Scale Modeling Obsession. This is what they call a Death Tyrant. And it's actually a beholder that you've seen me do before. And it floats around and it has powers. Well, this is one that they have the power of, they can turn themselves into zombies, they can kill themselves, like destroy themselves, and they gain different powers and more powers. So that's what this one has done. It has killed itself and it gained different powers and became more powerful, and it's now called the Death Tyrant. And he goes around, and it is exactly what the name expresses. From what I understand, he's a tyrant causing problems, and he goes around and he causes death. And he could shoot like different energy out of each one of these little spikes coming out of his head and all that. But it's a skeleton. It's a skull. So, and I think that it turned out very well. Very well. I'm very pleased with it. You know, it's the best bone kind of skeleton look that I've been able to do ever. So we'll give it a spin around here. So you can take a look at the front and the back, and you can see the red eye with the white pupil, and you can see the clear. It's supposed to just be all these red dots are floating around him, and then he shoots energy out of them and can kill you. But you can see how the skull and the bone, it's all supposed to look like bone. Has a little bit of green tint to it, all that kind of stuff. So I think this one turned out very well. I'm pleased with it. I think this is the best looking bone specimen that I've done to date. And these are things, you know, the reason that you see a lot of these small things, you know, even though he's not that small. I mean, you figure, here's, you know, a regular jar of what like Vallejo paint would be, that size. And he's a little bit, he's a decent size, you know. He's about the size of a golf ball. So, and I get these because they're fun to paint. And it's interesting, and you can really practice up your hand painting. I do a lot of hand painting with my show rods and all that stuff. So I like hand painting. I actually like hand painting more than I do airbrushing. So there he is. There's the Death Tyrant with that sharp teeth and the bone color. And I think he came out real good. It looks pink on the camera, but those things are actually red. It's a clear red. So, you know, spinning back around, so he's kind of looking at you. And these are cheap to get. They're not expensive. And it's a cheap way to practice your skills with highlighting and things like that. So that's why I get them. You know, I have some other things that I want to get to building, you know, figure-wise, that are going to take a little bit more, you know, skill in doing. I'm just waiting for some different paints. I'm hoping Santa Claus is good to me this year. But I have some stuff coming up that is going to be getting painted. This, for one. This is called Baylor, with the wings and all that kind of stuff. And this has some clear stuff here where he's got a fire whip and a sword and all that. So he'll be coming up. He's got chains wrapped around his chest and on his arms and all. So that's skulls on his kneecaps for, you know, knee bracing and all that kind of stuff. You know, knee pads. You know, that's what he's using for shields and stuff. So that's one thing that's coming up. Another thing that's coming up, it's going to take some finesse and building. Ooh, I have to bring him down here. Kong from Skull Island. He's already primed, and I'm waiting to for some paints that I want to start, you know, trying to paint him with. So that's going to be a little bit more challenging. And then there's another piece that's very big. I glued it on a base. I have a rock there just for what I think I'm going to put down when I put the base down. Let me raise this up a little bit. This is called the, what's it called? The Gory Store, something like that. And he's a big figure. He's very big. You know, he's quite big. He's got to be at least, he's as big as my, you can see my hand. He's got to be at least 5-6 inches, 6.5 inches tall. He's very big, and you can see his face. He's kind of cool looking. And he has, you know, spikes on his back. I've already filled in some gaps and stuff. And he's got spikes and hair and all that. And he's got hooved feet and all that. And I have this rock sitting there for, I want to use some plaster that I got, cover up this base and put some foliage around it. And then he's got the horns with gold around and all that stuff. So that's another thing that'll be coming up, which is going to take, you know, a little bit more finesse in painting. I'll bring him up a little closer. You can see that face on him. Look at that face with the tongue and the teeth and all that. So, and they come pre-primed. You can paint right over the way that they're, and it's not that expensive. It's $14. So, you know, it's very good practice for doing stuff. A lot of painting hair and some skin and all that and all the details. So, just some stuff that's coming up in the future with figures, you know, along with the show rods and all that you've seen that I'm working on as well. So, all right, that's about it. Here's another one. This one is, I'll just show you what it is, you know, on the box. Look at that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that's another one. And these are D&D Collector Series. That's the name of him. You know, he was a little bit more expensive. You know, more like $20, $25. But still. And he's about the same size as what this is. And this is the size. He's about 3 inches, 3.5 inches tall, about 4 inches wide, 5 inches wide, roughly. So, and he's cool. He's real cool. Up close look at him. You can see the chains on his chest and the skulls. The skull on his belt buckle. He's got a skull on his shoulder. The knee pads. The wings. There's the back of him. He's very cool. He's called Baylor. He's very powerful in Dungeons and Dragons. Not that I'm not playing those games. I'm just getting the figures because they're cheap and they're fun. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think of the Death Tyrant. There's something you don't want to wake up to floating around your house. So, all right. Have a good one now. Bye-bye.